Today our topic is the nature of free will. Do we have it? This is a question that has puzzled humans for thousands of years. Do we truly have control over our choices, or are our actions determined by forces beyond our control? To understand this, we must first ask, what is free will? Free will is the idea that we have the ability to make our own choices, that we are not just puppets controlled by fate, gods, or even science. But when we look deeper, the answer is not so simple. Let's explore this step by step. Some people believe in determinism. Determinism is the idea that everything in the universe happens because of cause and effect. For example, if you drop a ball, it falls because of gravity. There is no choice involved. Determinists argue that this applies to humans too. They say that every decision we make is caused by something else, our genes, our upbringing, our environment, or even the chemicals in our brain. If this is true, then free will might be an illusion. We might feel like we are making choices, but really, those choices are already decided by things we cannot control. On the other hand, there are people who believe in free will. They say that humans have a special ability to make choices that are not just the result of cause and effect. They argue that even if our choices are influenced by our past, we still have the power to think, reflect, and decide for ourselves. For example, you might be angry because someone insulted you, but you can choose whether to yell back or stay calm. This ability to choose, they say, is what makes us free. So, who is right? Do we have free will, or are our choices determined? The truth is, this is a very hard question to answer. Many scientists and philosophers have tried to solve it, but there is no agreement. Some experiments in neuroscience suggest that our brains make decisions before we are even aware of them. For example, a study showed that brain activity could predict a person's decision to press a button several seconds before they were conscious of making that decision. This makes some people think that free will might be an illusion. But others argue that even if our brains work in this way, it doesn't mean we don't have free will. They say that our choices are still ours, even if they come from our brains. Another idea is that free will and determinism might both be true in some way. This is called compatibilism. Compatibilists believe that free will doesn't mean being free from all influences. Instead, it means being free to act according to our own desires and reasons. For example, if you choose to eat ice cream because you like it, that is still a free choice, even if your desire for ice cream is caused by your brain or your past experiences. Compatibilists say that free will is not about being free from cause and effect, but about being free to act in a way that makes sense to us. Now, let's think about what this means for our lives. If free will is real, then we are responsible for our actions. This can be both empowering and scary. It means that we have the power to shape our lives, but it also means that we cannot blame others for our mistakes. If determinism is true, then our lives might feel less in our control, but it might also help us be more understanding of others. After all, if someone does something bad, it might be because of their genes, their upbringing, or their environment, not because they are a bad person. This can help us be more compassionate. But even if determinism is true, it doesn't mean we should give up on trying to improve ourselves or the world. Whether or not we have free will, we still have the ability to learn, grow, and make changes. For example, if you want to become a better person, you can work on your habits, your thoughts, and your actions. Even if these changes are influenced by your brain or your environment, they are still meaningful. In fact, many philosophers, especially the Stoics, believe that we should focus on what we can control, rather than worrying about what we can't. The Stoics taught that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. This is a powerful idea. It means that even if the world is determined, we still have the power to choose our attitude and our actions. This is a form of freedom that no one can take away from us. So, do we have free will? The answer might depend on how we define it. If free will means being free from all influences, then maybe we don't have it. But if free will means being able to make choices that reflect our desires and values, then maybe we do. Either way, the question of free will is not just a theoretical one. It has real consequences for how we live our lives. If we believe in free will, we might feel more motivated to take responsibility for our actions and work towards our goals. If we believe in determinism, we might feel more compassionate towards others and more accepting of our own limitations. But perhaps the most important thing is not whether we have free will, but how we use the freedom we have. Even if our choices are influenced by many factors, we still have the ability to reflect, to learn, and to grow. We can choose to act with kindness, courage, and wisdom. We can choose to make the world a better place. In the end, whether or not we have free will, we still have the power to live meaningful lives. And that is something worth thinking about. So, as you go about your day, remember this: no matter what the truth about free will is, you have the ability to make choices. You can choose to be kind, to work hard, to help others, and to live with purpose. These choices might be influenced by many things, but they are still yours. And that is a powerful thing. So don't worry too much about whether free will is real or not. Focus on what you can do today to make your life and the lives of others better. That is the true nature of freedom.